Hey, welcome to Unthinkable. I'm Jay Acunzo, and it's time for another Slingshot. These are short stories about people who reject conventional thinking and bet it all on their creative intuition. And I'm so excited about this story because today's episode has everything to do with you. Juliana Casale stared at her computer screen. She was reading a Facebook ad of all things, which was weird because she never really read any Facebook ads ever.
I saw it and it said, "Do you enjoy writing? Do you enjoy craft beer?" And I said to myself, oh yeah, I like both of those things.
That ad would change the course of her career as a creator. But before we get into that story, I gotta let you know one thing. Her story is not unlike plenty of ours.
Yeah, so I was new to Boston at the time that I was working full-time for this tech company, and they had me doing very repetitive email promotions for their events. And it was literally copy-paste the last email, write a couple bullet points that were all basically the same, and then rinse, repeat, look at the analytics, send out another deployment the next week. And I was feeling kind of stifled. I was coming from an English major background where I got to write essays and be very creative in my persuasive arguments. And so then to go to this where sort of a cut, copy, paste kind of thing, I was a little bored.
As I said, her story is not unlike many of ours. She aspired to do better and more creative work, and so she pursued a side project. And in this case, that meant responding to the Facebook ad to write for AmericanCraftBeer.com.
And so they were looking for a correspondent in Boston. And, I decided what the hell, I love drinking beer, but I don't really know very many technical things about the process behind it. But I do love the people that make it. And why not put my hat in the ring?
And exactly because she wasn't an expert in the field, she was forced to approach her assignments in ways that others might never have tried because they were used to writing, the same old. And since she couldn't go really deep with the brewers about the technical side of brewing their beers, she did what probably many of us would have focused on. People.
To talk about styles of beer and what they were, why they were popular, different trends in the industry, bottles to cans, for example. I didn't really know what I was allowed to do or not allowed to do. So I started a whole series about the art of beer labels, the things that people maybe weren't thinking about if they were really serious beer industry writers. But since I was fresh on it, I was thinking of it through a lens of a beginner. And so that's really valuable, I think.
Her editors loved the new feel. The readers loved the new approach. Even the brewers were pretty excited to hear from her when she reached out because they were going to be profiled. They were going to be featured. Their story, not just the beer, them, the people.
My first one was Helder from Backlash Beer. I'd come across their website and they have this really great branding, but also they have this really irreverent blog that's really fun to read, even if you don't know anything about beer. So it was kind of my beer crush at the time. And I just sent him an email and I said, listen, I'm getting my feet wet with this writing gig. And I would love to just ask you a few questions. If you want to meet at a bar, we can drink beer and it'll be a little more relaxed. And he said, absolutely. How's next Tuesday?
The more Juliana wrote for American Craft Beer, the more she realized that, wait a second, even though the topics are completely irrelevant, I can pull out a lot of lessons from this side project and apply them to my day job. Namely, I don't have to do the same old approaches day after day to see success.
I mean, for one thing, I feel like I'm in the B2B side of content marketing. And so I feel like it can be very formulaic. It's okay, I have this blog post of top 5 things that'll help your customers, or here's this ebook and it's chapter, conclusion.
I mean, that's what businesses and bosses like, right? Predictable, repeatable activities that obviously tie right to revenue or some kind of measurable objective. Like I said, Juliana's story, not that much different from many of ours. However,
really the best content I've read has been outside the box, kind of approaching things in a different way, more storytelling. And, the craft beer writing I've been doing is a lot more perspective pieces, a lot more why you should care about this topic, a lot more people focused.
Today, Juliana holds a job that she finds way more creative and rewarding than anything she's ever held before. And sure, at that company, I'm sure she does her fair share of the predictable stuff. But today, she can pull from everything she's learned doing the side project, and that helps her company break from all the incessant noise and conventional thinking out there. Because if there's one thing that the stuff that, a lot of bosses and companies like, the predictable stuff, if there's one thing that all of that creates, it's sameness.
I, at my job, currently have been pioneering a Q&A series where we take our customers that seem to be really happy with our software and we ask them a bunch of questions about not just their experience with the software, which was great, but, what's it like to be a digital marketer at the company they're at? What's it like to be at the forefront of growth for building their business? So it's more about their day-to-day experience as a person.
Really just think about this for a second. All she did was pull out one tiny lesson from a crazy side project that she took on a lark and combine that with her day job to see more success. That was it. Not to mention, she feels way more fulfilled because of that.
I feel like it's another way of approaching our industry in a way that other B2B ad tech companies aren't. So I'm really proud of that differentiation.
Juliana writes about social media marketing for work. For fun, she writes about beer. But it's all connected thanks to that one consistent thing. Her. There's no separating her from any of her writing, no matter what it's about. And so every single thing that she does affects her work, no matter how seemingly distant from her day job you think it is.
I feel like I've learned the most when I've gotten out of my comfort zone, and it's not as terrifying as you think.
That's Juliana Casale, and her story is just like ours, because Juliana is just like us. The grand total of all these experiences in your life, no matter how seemingly different they are, mixing together, fermenting over time, and making entirely original and damn awesome craft brews. I'm Jay Acunzo, and that was Unthinkable. Hey, quick and awesome update about this story. After we finished recording and producing it, Juliana reached out and said that she'd landed a brand new job leading all of marketing for a tech startup in Boston. She starts the very same day that this episode airs in November 2016, and she credits her side project, her Slingshot, for continuing to shoot her forward. Congrats, Juliana, and good luck.